Good morning, everybody. Got your coffee? I got mine. So listen, yesterday was a really quiet day for me. I didn't even open the mail. And someone sent me a box. And I bet I know what's inside that box. And it's something that the pantry really does need. So don't worry, I'm going to get to it. But in the meantime, in between time, let me tell you what I did yesterday. Besides just being a happy day with my husband, I did a deep dive into James Earl Jones because I wanted to know exactly what he had to say about black women. And I know I'm probably going to get some pushback on this, but let me say this to you. Your inability to accept the truth is not my issue. That's your issue, and you're not going to project onto me. This man clearly had a problem with black women, and he clearly did not like black women. I thought this was a strong black brother, but clearly he was not. He was just beloved by black people, by his community. And all the love that he got from his community still wasn't enough to make this man feel dynamic in his blackness, comfortable in his blackness. This was a black man that didn't want to be black, and this was a black man who was not comfortable in his blackness. This is one of those black men, and I'm not saying all black men, but he is the type of black man that is self-hating, for lack of a better term, to the degree where he aligned himself with a racist white woman. When I saw that interview that they did where he spoke so negatively and so bad about black women, and then he sat there and let that white woman into that conversation and talk shit about black women too, that told me everything that I needed to know about James Earl Jones right there. Because it cannot be denied that the man had a wonderful voice and that he was a great actor, but he was also problematic. And that's the truth. I think that's one of the reasons why, when things like this come out, I'm always very grateful that I'm the kind of person that I don't sit actors and celebrities on a pedestal, because they are just flawed humans, just like the rest of us. They just got lucky, or maybe not. I'm not saying that they didn't work hard towards their craft, but they are just celebrities. They just have notoriety. That's all. But they are as human as the next human. And so they are incredibly flawed. The one thing that I notice about these specific types of black men, the black men who are so self-loathing and they align themselves with these racist white women, and we all know them, sisters. They're the ones that get in our comments and they say shit like, that's the reason why black men don't like y'all. Y'all loud, y'all nappy-headed. That's why black men don't want you. And then they be like, I got a black man, he's a black king, he don't want none of y'all. And the thing of it is that's so laughable, because I don't really know any black women that really want that type of a black man. I don't know not one that would take that. Even the ones that I know who desperately want to get married would leave that black man sitting on the side of the road somewhere. Nobody wants a self-loathing black man. Nobody wants that type of black man except for a racist white woman. And the reason why that is because that type of black man and that type of white woman bond over their hatred of black women. That's the thing that's bonding them together. And he is self-loathing enough to sit around and listen to her racist relatives talk shit about black people, black women in particular, and just be the coon in the room. Clarence Thomas, it's lots of them. And then come to find out, that it was Sidney Poitier, it was what's that other guy's name? I forget what his name is. I can't remember it off the top, but it's a lot of black men who are like that, very problematic. And when you get those types of couples together, what really scares me about them is when they have black children, particularly black girls. They're not qualified to raise black kids, especially black girls. And we hear all these horror stories about these young black women, biracial black women, that they come back and tell about how their parents used the N-word, how their parents said very racist, hurtful things about black people, knowing that their children were black. I can't imagine what it's like to be raised by a racist parent when you're black. That's got to be a horrifying experience. And I feel for those people. And again, because I know some of you all are sensitive, but you really don't have any reason to be sensitive in this conversation unless you know in your heart of hearts that you're who I'm speaking of. This isn't all interracial couples. Nobody knows that better than I do. This isn't all interracial couples, but it is a specific type of interracial coupling. And that is the self-loathing black man and the racist white woman. And when these two get together, during that deep dive of James Earl Jones, I looked to see what kind of relationship that he had with his father, because I noticed that a lot of these men tend to be, they tend to not have had a strong black male presence in their life, in the household. I've noticed that. And while he reconnected with his father, he didn't have his father there for most of his life when he was young. Typical. They come around when you get famous and you got some money. Ask all the NBA players. And he probably fell for it because, again, he has self-loathing and he wasn't comfortable with his identity, and it happens. But sorry, I'm just watching these kids walk to school, making sure they're okay. But I had no idea that the Lion King was actually a coon. I guess that's it for today. Y'all have a good day. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, I'll put my Cash App down in the comments. If you'd like to support the library, I'll put that link down in the comments. Y'all have a good day. It's something to think about. We really need to think about what it is we're doing where we're turning out these kinds of self-loathing black men. But honestly, I think that this is just another consequence of what racism and what caste does to black people. I do. And don't get me wrong, we got some black women, we got some sisters like that too. You see the one that's going viral on TikTok right now? Talking about she was born to pick cotton. She out in the field wearing a slave dress picking cotton. Talking about it's in her DNA. We got a few of them. Now, you don't see it very often with black women, because black women, we tend to be very, very confident in our blackness. But you can get a Candace here and there. It does happen. Where white supremacy and caste and racism does exactly what it was designed to do to black people, and that is to make us feel inferior. And some black people, as a result of racism, feel deeply inferior, and they feel like their black skin is some sort of a curse. And I feel sorry for them, because baby, black is beautiful. Have a good one.